For your Tuesday, as we could see the potential for heat index levels topping out in the triple digits. We're on your side with the latest heat advisory and how you can stay safe.
And we're bringing you the weather extra on those different heat-related illnesses and what you can do to protect yourself now.
And we take you across the country to places impacted by more severe weather over the weekend.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
But first, check out these scenes from those storms that moved across the area on Saturday. Heavy rain and even pea-sized hail was reported to across parts of Birmingham, and some intense lightning out there, Matt.
That's actually my video right there.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, so that was some pea-sized hail that was falling. We had that one storm just form over Birmingham, kept growing. I was like, uh-oh, it's going to collapse at some point.
Well, that's
the wind came out and you saw the hail, so it was pretty intense.
It's hard to imagine, with the kind of heat that we've had to see, large hail with some of these storms, but it just goes to show you how tall they are and the reaches high up in the atmosphere with the temperatures so well below freezing.
Yeah, and these summer storms, they can pack a punch, and we might be dealing with that more over the next several days. So
yes, like a bubble that you just know what's going to pop out there. You can feel that heat, that humidity in the afternoon. We've had a couple of those storms developing. I want to show you right now. We'll go over to First Alert AccuTrack, and we've had this dangerous heat out there, and I always say this when it comes to any type of weather-related deadliest weather phenomena, it's heat. The number of weather-related fatalities from heat add up more than thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, and that's why we take it so serious. We have First Alert weather days, and just to make sure over the next few days, don't let this hot weather sneak up on you. That heat index right now, it's at 106 in Pell City, it's 100 in Demopolis, 102 in Talladega. Check on everyone, make sure everybody has a nice cool spot to stay indoors and enjoy a break from the hot weather. But the heat risk map, it's been in the extreme range for other parts of the country. I mean, we're kind of on the outer edge of this heat bubble, and we've been dealing with at least some storms to cool some areas off. We've got some pop-ups still out there right now. You look at the radar, there's not a lot to talk about. We're dry in East Alabama, down in Tuscaloosa, notice showing 88 degrees, but if we go in really close, there is a little pop-up cell that is showing up over northern Jefferson County. We'll go in for a close view. Before we get there, I want to show you this. This is the new heat advisory. This was just issued, and this will be for tomorrow and also continues throughout the day on Wednesday. That includes the entire area. Now, keep in mind today, only parts of the area were under the heat advisory, the entire area over the next couple of days. So giving you that first alert. That's why we're carrying over with that First Alert weather day. And also something this time of year, I always like to remind you, our furry friends, if you take the dog out for a walk in the evenings, just notice those road surfaces are extremely hot. These are our current road temperatures, up to 128 degrees in some areas. So keep hot paw safety in mind for walking the pups out there tonight. Wait a while, let things cool off. It's still going to be a warm evening. Most of the storm should dissipate. We were tracking a little pop-up storm here. It's weakening now. It moved from Bear Creek over towards Hackleburg, but we saw quite a bit of lightning with that one storm. And here's that cell I told you, now detecting lightning. So this is strengthening. This is not far from the Miller Steam Plant, out around Dora, Reeds Ferry Road. Just going to be tracking to these storms are moving east to west. So this will be moving back in towards Cordova and perhaps, Dora right now getting in on some of that heavier rainfall. But the big story here, we have these First Alert weather days through Wednesday for highs in the mid to upper 90s, some of the hottest weather since late last August. Heat index 98 to 107 degrees during the afternoon hours. We do have some changes coming, however. We have a system that we're tracking. It's going to bring a big increase in those storm chances later on this week, a system we'll talk a lot more about as we go beyond the 7-day forecast. That's all coming up right here with the Weather Extra. But be sure to scan the code on your screen to download the WVRC First Alert Weather app for free. You'll be able to receive the latest updates on the upcoming First Alert weather days and that potential for more storms and more showers that I was talking about for the end of the week. We'll get into that coming up. Meteorologist Megan Thomas joins us now with how to spot a heat-related illness and what you can do to alleviate those symptoms as the temperatures rise.
The heat index Okay, it's something that we've been talking about for a week, and it's finally here. These heat advisories have blanketed anywhere from the deep south up to the Great Lakes and even into New England, which means with the heat advisory in place, it felt more like 105 degrees in spots today from Lamar to Fayette and Marion counties. Wouldn't shock me if we got a heat advisory for much of central Alabama heading into Tuesday and Wednesday, as it's going to feel like 105 plus. Now, why is it important to note the heat indice? Well, here's the thing. It's really important because it gives an actual representation of what the air generally feels like. Sure, the temperature, if you put a thermometer to it, could feel like 91 degrees. But when you factor in the humidity, the moisture in the air, it's going to feel like 101 to 105. Drier air is important to note. That's when low humidity is in place. It allows the moisture to evaporate off our skin, which cools the body. Sweating is important, but when you have a high humidity climate where we are right now, between today, tomorrow, and even Wednesday, that humid air limits the evaporation, which makes us, you guessed it, feel fairly uncomfortable. A couple different things to note, especially when it comes to being out in the heat. You can get heat exhaustion and then heat stroke. Heat exhaustion, you can feel faint, you can feel dizzy, causes excessive sweating, and you're trying to cool your body off fairly quickly. Nausea, vomiting, also a concern, and muscle cramps. If you're a runner, you probably have felt heat exhaustion. If you've got football practice in the summertime, you've probably felt heat exhaustion. It's important that coaches, to give frequent breaks and of course hydrate the players. Now, heat stroke, also something to note. You get a throbbing headache. There's no sweating involved because your body is trapping all of that heat and it can't express it. Nausea and vomiting, also a concern. A rapid, strong pulse, and you may lose consciousness. Again, the heat's not something to mess around with, so if you can spend some time inside over the next couple of days, it would be advised.
Great tips there, Megan. I actually was in the marching band back in my college days, and I can tell you, those hot summer days and you're out in the sunshine, you need to stay hydrated. It was key for me feeling better the following day. So good tips there. Well, during the summer and those hot days, some commonly prescribed medications can make your body even more susceptible to the sun. The CDC says some medications interfere with the body's ability to regulate temperature, making it harder to cool down. And the increase in sun sensitivity to the skin, Dr. Jesse Bracamonte with the Mayo Clinic saying some medicine can also make a person more vulnerable to heat by affecting the body's hydration.
We're doing the errands, they're overheated, they don't feel well, and they can get really heat exhausted pretty quickly. Meds can have a significant impact. In some cases, if you're not hydrating, in certain meds can make you feel lightheaded and dizzy and nauseated. So it's really important to stay hydrated.
And the heat can also degrade or damage some medications, including insulin, inhalers, and EpiPens. And so you have to make sure they're being stored properly. Well, speaking of the hot weather, of course, tomorrow is going to be another hot afternoon. So we want to show you that iced coffee forecast. Yes, ice. I don't know if you really want a hot beverage tomorrow. So if you're heading out to the coffee shop, we got your First Alert Weather Day forecast. And yes, it's going to be very hot. We're looking at temperatures climbing up into the mid 90s. And of course, as Wes was mentioning with the humidity, it's going to make it feel like it's in the triple digits. And there's not going to be a lot of relief either. Only a 20% chance for an isolated shower. So lots of sunshine. We are going to be heating up very quickly. So we got that extra large cup there to stay cool. But of course, you don't want to just drink coffee. You want to make sure you stay hydrated with liquid, with just water. That will help you out as well. Well, we're not the only ones experiencing dangerous heat. Check out the scenes out of Wisconsin and Missouri as roads buckled today due to the heat. That's incredible. Officials are warning that there could be more roads to buckle as the heat is expected to continue through Wednesday. And in North Dakota, the cleanup process beginning after a tornado touchdown Friday night in Cass County. It caused 3 fatalities, 2 being found by storm chasers and the 3rd at another location. The fire department also saying at least 10 homes were destroyed. Well, in 30 seconds, we continue to talk about that First Alert Weather Day for your Tuesday, and we're going to talk about how you can keep your home cool while also saving money during these hot summer days. We'll be right back.
All right, we got some more hot weather. Of course, we've been telling you about those first alert weather days for triple-digit feels-like temperatures. I still think tomorrow there will be several areas where that heat index could reach around 105 or go a little bit higher. It's all about that humidity, as Megan was talking about. It's been making it feel a lot hotter out there, very humid. But we are going to see by Wednesday, even though it's another hot day, we will see an increasing chance for some of those afternoon storms here coming up. Let me show you this. Rain chances will go up. Now, if you're heading out to the Dave Matthews Band concert at the Coca-Cola Amphitheater, looks like for tomorrow night, not expecting a lot of wet weather, but we are going to have some warm temperatures planned for by 9 o'clock, 83 degrees. It's going to be a hot evening out there, but notice for the Def Leppard concert, if you're heading out, I do think Wednesday evening we need to watch for a better chance for some of those pop-up thunderstorms early evening. Of course, overnight those chances will come to an end, but this is what I wanted to show you here. You can see how the rain chance just goes steadily up towards the end of the week. There's a system that moves in from the southeast that we're tracking. We'll show you how that's going to impact your weekend forecast coming up. But right now, just a quick reminder, it's that time of the year, just another way to stay cool. If you haven't done so, we always say during the winter, make sure your ceiling fan, you know, the little switch where you can change the settings, may want to double check for summer settings. Make sure it's in the counterclockwise. If you've been noticing it's kind of tough to cool off with those fans on, maybe that's the reason. You may want to just double check. But maybe a good time too as well, Matt, just to go ahead and maybe do a cleaning on those fans as well. So with the hot temperatures, we're checking in, of course, with local air conditioning repair companies on how they're working to repair units. I know they're getting certainly a test this time of the year. Your Tuscaloosa reporter Brian Henry has our story.
Alabamians didn't necessarily put out the welcome sign for the stifling heat, but we don't have a choice. It is here, along with the suffocating humidity.
It started mainly over the weekend.
What started over the weekend? Service calls for Just Right owner Sharish Singh, who answered 15 calls Monday morning alone. The complaints? The AC not working right, or it just plain quit.
Right now it's just hot, and they're being worked and haven't been running as much as they were, but like one of the common reasons, sometimes the capacitors, they wear out. And that's something you can do on a preventive maintenance check.
They can keep their thermostats at 78.
That magical number is still the recommended number according to Alabama Power. Alabama Power has been in business for more than 100 years, and Danielle Kimbrough says studies have shown that 78 can still save you money. And in theory, add to the life of your AC unit.
We've seen that just by looking at, a history of bills over the years, and we've been in business a long time, so we know that. 78 for the summer months, and we say 68 in the winter months.
Sharish Singh strongly recommends something else to add to the longevity of your unit. It's something many of us don't think about.
Getting a grass cut to turn the unit off so it doesn't suck in the dirt or the grass.
Nothing beats the heat quite like the hum of a working air conditioning unit, but Singh and Kimbrough say the key is in the prevention, not waiting until something goes kaput.
All good advice right there, but 78 degrees is tough for me. I don't know about you, but I get it. We're looking at the tropics right now, and believe it or not, we are actually monitoring one little system way out in the middle of the Atlantic. It's way away from us and pretty much any location. Here's the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. This just came in. Earlier this morning, it had a high chance of developing into a tropical depression or storm. Now this weak area of low pressure, that chance continues to lower, now at 40%. So still at a medium chance, but odds are it's probably not going to be able to form. Now, they did designate this area as a low pressure, and allows our models to get a little idea on how this is going to develop and also where it's going to go. So it's going to be traveling to the northeast. So that means it's moving way away from the United States, and it's going to go up into the northern portions of the Atlantic. So I don't see any issues with this at all. Here's a list of names for the upcoming season. We have yet to see the first name, which is Andrea. So we'll be watching for the next several weeks, but right now it looks like the tropics remaining very quiet, but we always have to watch close to home in the Gulf and along the southeast coast. Sometimes we get these areas of low pressure develop, and they can sneak up on us, and we might see a quick storm developing. So we'll watch that over the next several weeks. Well, still ahead, we still talk about when we can expect your next best chance for showers and storms, and we're going to take you beyond the atmosphere, where we learn about the moon, an historic picture that's out of this world. We'll be right back.
And welcome back into Weather Extra. We give you an extra incredible view here. Look at that isolated storm we're tracking, and this is the view from the CraneWorks camera, but it's so awesome, to see the weather in motion here, our First Alert Sky Vision. But what happens on these summer afternoons, I was telling my wife the other day, you look out the window in the morning around 9 or 10 o'clock on these summer days, you won't see a cloud in the sky, and then by 11 o'clock you start getting these puffy clouds as the air starts bubbling up, and in some cases, in random areas, these parcels of air are able to just take off like this, and they rise, and where it's really cold up in the higher reaches of the atmosphere, these storms, they pulse up, they continue to grow, charges separate, you end up with lightning, and sometimes, as Matt mentioned earlier, you can get some small hail as those tops of those storms kind of reach up into that freezing layer. But what goes on with these, they tend to fall apart rather quickly, but there it is right there, the view from First Alert AccuTrack out of Shelby County. You can see that one little cell that's over Walker County. There's a little pop-up also right there along the Talladega-Clay County line, right around Mount Cheaha, a little storm that's popping up. So just stay alert. There could be some cloud-to-ground lightning, certainly very tiny, very localized rainfall. That storm over northern Marion County, it's falling apart, so some good news there. There was quite a bit of lightning with that, but there is some lightning with this storm. Again, it's tracking in towards Dora, and again, moving to the west direction. This is going to move in towards Cordova, Jasper area, so a first alert there for our friends in Walker County. A little storm to cool things off this evening, but this will all settle down tonight. It's going to be a warm night. Look at this, 9 o'clock showing 80 in Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, 78 in Anniston. Crank up the AC. A warm night out there. We have a first alert weather day tomorrow. Looks mostly dry, maybe 1 or 2 lone showers. That's about it during the afternoon. Most of the day we've got highs in the 90s. We could reach mid-90s and heat index levels as high as 105 for some of those maximum temperatures tomorrow, and the same on Wednesday. However, the one difference on Wednesday, we're going to see an increasing chance for those afternoon storms to pop up. There's another system that we're tracking. Watch this. It moves in from the south and east direction towards the end of the week. You see right there, and that's going to bring that increasing chance for afternoon storms starting Wednesday and continuing through the weekend. So stay weather alert. You'll see those rain chances Saturday and Sunday around 60%, highs in the upper 80s, and into next week those rain chances look to carry over. It's hard to believe we're already talking July, but as we head into July, that dog days of summer time of year, we still have 80s. We've got the humidity, heat levels, heat index backs off a little bit, but those afternoon storm chances ramp up. So we've got to be alert there for that threat of lightning. And I showed you that system that moves in from the southeast. Well, this could happen again next week, Matt, as we take a look at beyond the 7-day forecast, another system we're tracking.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of moisture from the Atlantic, the Gulf, that's going to be spreading to the south and east, so it's going to keep us unsettled. The good news, of course, the wetter it is, the less likelihood we're going to see lots of heat. And this is what the outlook's actually showing because of that idea that we may see above average rain. Temperatures may be close to average, so just slightly above average to the south. So odds are, we're going to be right around the low 90s for the most part as we go into July 1st through the July 7th. When it comes to rainfall, notice it shows a little bit of a darker green showing up there in parts of Alabama, Mississippi, the Florida Panhandle. So odds are going up that we may see above average rainfall. So it doesn't mean it's going to rain a lot. It just means more than usual. So we'll just see what happens. And looking beyond the 7-day, this is just one model. It's going to show different things. Tomorrow if I show you the same kind of model run, when it updates, it'll look a little different. This shows next week, next Tuesday, July 1st, showing chances for rain Tuesday. Then as we go into Wednesday of next week, notice still very unsettled across the southeast. Lots of green showing up across the southeastern United States. And there's that little disturbance that Wes was mentioning along the Florida Panhandle, along the Gulf Coast, that could be influencing our pattern with some wet weather across the area. And this is the 4th of July, next Friday, showing maybe a few showers possible, but not a washout. So that's good news if you've got any 4th of July plans. And then, of course, going the following weekend, July 5th, July 6th, still looks kind of unsettled with opportunities for showers and thunderstorms. Well, the world's largest digital camera, gotta check this out, releases its first deep space pictures, and we get a glimpse at a new crash site on the moon. Patrick Cornell has the outer space imagery, and take a look at this.
The moon is sporting a new man-made blemish. You'll have to take a close look at this before and after photo to spot the newly created crater on the surface. In early June, Resilience, a lunar lander from Japanese company iSpace, likely suffered a hard landing while trying to touch down on the moon. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter decided to check out the damage, snapping this pic from about 50 miles above the lunar landscape. The space agency says the image shows the accident kicked up regolith. Definition, please. Unconsolidated, residual, or transported material that overlies the solid rock on the Earth, moon, or a planet. Got it. In the side-by-side comparison, you can see just how much regolith was kicked up by the hard landing. The company involved is expected to take on more moon missions until it succeeds with a successful landing. If we venture deeper into the solar system, thousands of asteroids and millions of galaxies shine in the first images ever released from the largest digital camera ever constructed. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory sits on a mountain in Chile. Inside, a 6,600-pound, 3,200 megapixel camera the size of a small car crafting some incredible imagery. And for its first act, astronomers are showcasing the Virgo cluster of galaxies, including 2 spiral galaxies and 3 merging galaxies. Plus, this composite pic made of 678 images detailing clouds of gas and dust in the Trifid and Lagoon nebulas. The team's mission is to create a time-lapse record of galaxies, asteroids, and other objects as they change over a 10-year period. And if we turn a camera back towards Earth, we get this spectacular view of an aurora sparkling over the skies of our planet. Astronaut Johnny Kim captured the out-of-this-world light display while on board the International Space Station. Kim writes it took about 45 minutes to record the stunningly serene space scene, and it sure is incredible to see. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
All right, it is here, Matt. We're talking highs mid-90s next couple of days.
I figured it was going to happen at some point, right?
Yeah, you just knew it was a matter of time, which we mentioned this, you know, it's been a lot hotter this time of the year.
It has. And
Yeah.
if we've been in a drought, these numbers could be even hotter because it doesn't,
Right.
yeah. So in a way, it could be worse, but at least we got some rain to help cool us down.
Yeah, that's right. You know, as we kind of get set up here, that's why we have the First Alert Weather Days, as to let you know that certainly dealing with some of the hottest weather so far this season. We'll talk more about rain chances, though, tonight. Join us.